And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from QH, who asked the question, who would win in a fight? The one being from Mortal Kombat, they're kind of equivalent to like the one above all, their presence god character, versus Cosmic Arbor Superman, aka Thought Robot from DC Comics. As I said, the one being, I've never done the one being from Mortal Kombat before. The one being is more or less their god. I mean, there are gods, obviously the Elder Gods, Outer Gods, all that in the Mortal Kombat universe. But this is their god. This is a being who apparently was defeated by the Elder Gods, split into 6 different realms. There was like an anchor point, but eventually was able to come back and is pretty much a nigh omnipotent, omniscient kind of individual. He's an embodiment of magic. He feeds on the power of the Elder Gods, so in theory he has all the abilities of the Elder Gods. Because the realms are all separated, you could say that he's most likely a multiversal plus individual. Although saying he's multiversal plus, because he's not just multi-realms, he's like there's Outrealm, there's all the other realms, and he is above all of them. So he's most likely a multiversal level plus individual. With the abilities that he can kind of just do anything that's within his realm of power, do time manipulation, reality warping, elemental manipulation, mind, all that goodness. In terms of his form, though, like this is the best image I could find of him. I don't think he has a true physical form. He is more incorporeal, all that. But I say all this because this probably should have got... I didn't know how powerful the one being actually was until and I'm going to just enlarge this photo a little bit here. We're going to enlarge that and shrink that down so we can make this a little bit... There we go. That looks a bit nicer now. A little bit more evened out. I say all this because I didn't know how strong the one being was. And this is important because Cosmic Armor Superman is, by all accounts, the strongest iteration of Superman you can have. Now, I say, use Superman in quotation because Thought Robot, I'm going to go with Cosmic Armor Superman for the rest of this. Cosmic Armor Superman isn't technically Superman, but it technically is. Okay, so I've only used Cosmic Armor Superman a couple times. It's been a while, so let me just refresh my my lore here on Cosmic Armor Superman. Cosmic Armor Superman or the Thought Robot, as he's also known, was created by Dax Novu to combat himself when he transformed into a monstrous being known as Mandrake. In the beginning, it was Monitor only, and then a flaw was found inside the vast Monitor perfection. To investigate this flaw, Monitor dispatched Dax Novu to observe the events transpiring within. Novu entered the flaw. He became corrupted and blind by the stories he witnessed. His corruption would inevitably transform him into the vampire Mandrake, and Novu Novu had built the ultimate weapon against the ultimate enemy. In hopes of ending the threat to Mandrake, Mandrake battled the Thought Robot, which was piloted by Superman and Ultraman and was defeated. Though the Thought Robot was damaged beyond repair and is no longer able to function. So, to understand everything I kind of just said, you have to kind of understand what Mandrake is. Mandrake, if we go with the Dax Novu Mandrake, yeah, that's the one I want. Mandrake, aka Dax Novu, is what's the best way to put it? He was corrupted by the Monitor. He's a being who existed let's try this again. He's a being who exists in the outer reality, like the outmost outer versal parts of reality. He actually operates kind of in the dark multiverse. He's basically a kind of counterpart to the Monitor and anti-Monitor to some degree. He was able to he's literally a being who threatens not the universe, not the multiverse, at minimum the omniverse. Like he threatens creation as a whole. That's how strong he is. Like not we're talking about creation and all the creations within that. So that's kind of the being we're dealing with when we're talking about the Mandrake. Like Mandrake is arguably one of the most powerful individuals you could have within the DC universe. So the fact that Cosmic Armor Superman is built to take on this individual kind of gives you an idea of how powerful this being actually is. Now, with that being said, because its armor, it's almost like a suit you're wearing. It was piloted by two Superman, and Ultraman and our Superman. The Thought Robot basically is described as being the remnant of Science Monitor Dax Navu, the extension of the Monitor Mind, the Overvoid that examined the multiverse and split in two. It was left floating next to its creation, to the creation of the Void, until the Monitor sphere formed around it and became incorporated into the story of the Monitor race. It was a weapon left behind by the Radiant One, Dax Novu, whose purpose was to combat the greatest threat, the Dark Monitor, aka Mandrake. What is this thing capable of doing? Well, first off, super intelligent. Technically speaking, once piloted by the two Superman, it has its own kind of consciousness to some degree, a kind of amalgamation of the two Superman. So basically has all the genius of the Superman, has theoretically all the abilities of said Superman, but it literally has superhuman physicality on a outerverse level, beyond dimensional existence. It can warp reality as a non-corporeal intangible body, and with regeneration when it needs to. It can manipulate concepts as conceptual manipulation. It's self-sustaining. It doesn't need to eat or anything like that. Cosmic awareness, all the basic Superman powers. The two big ones that kind of just tell you you're in actually the three big ones. The three big ones that kind of tell you throwing the one being in here is like trying to throw a pebble at a tank. Is basically it has reactive evolution. It adapts instantly to counterattack any threat. Meaning that you can only use an attack once on this thing before it's no good. It is fourth wall aware. When you're getting into characters who are fourth wall aware, you're talking about gag characters, not even gag characters, because like She-Hulk's not a gag character, or even Deadpool. But you're talking about like more just fun characters like that, or you're talking about being so powerful they can look past their own reality. That's what we're dealing with Thought Robot. And he's resistant to plot manipulation. Actually, a little bit similar to Superman, who's kind of like an anchor point in the universe. But he's literally resisted being inside a self-assembling hyper-story that was trying to destroy him. There's actually an SCP that kind of works that way, where it's a book that if you write the title, it will allegedly make that title happen. They tried to do that with SCP-682, where it's the thing that killed SCP-682. And it sucked it in, and it failed to do so. It's like the book rewrote itself. The thing that tried, it failed to kill SCP-682. But yes, Cosmic Armor Superman is not only on outer-versal level, minimum threat. He's fourth wall aware. He's immune to plot manipulation, and he's pretty much immune to anything that gets thrown at him after the first hit. Now, clearly, he's not invincible, because he was ultimately damaged beyond repair. That said, the level of power that something like Cosmic Armor Superman has is beyond ridiculous for most of these fights. And before anyone asks, don't give me Sugverse versus this version of Superman. Yes, technically speaking, he would be a little more in that tier, but the Sugverse characters are just not fun characters to use in a versus, because that's literally a fan creation that is just way too overpowered for these matches to be interesting. But I digress. So yeah, this is kind of a stomp in favor of a Cosmic Armor Superman. Thought Robot would pretty much make mincemeat out of the one being. As powerful as something like the one being is, like against a lot of lower tier threats, or when I say lower tier, I'm like maybe just low multiversal threats. The one being could definitely then be in a conversation of power. But unfortunately, as far as multiversal level threats go, one being is not all that powerful compared to many other multiversal beings. So, yeah, at least from what I could find, like he's powerful. Don't get me wrong. You're still talking about a multiversal level being. But yeah, if you compare him to others, he kind of comes up pretty short. But I digress. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.